Peace to the gods, peace to the gods. Yusuf El here. Let me get a mic check. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to be on time more often. Um, I can read all the questions and everything y'all be asking before I even come on. So I'm already, a lot of times I'm already reading the chat, seeing what people are talking about, way, before I come on, I can see what everybody's talking about. But today I got a special program for you. And first and foremost, what I want to say first and foremost is I'm not doing this today to disparage anyone or to say somebody's wrong or anything like that. I'm doing this program today because first and foremost, I have been doing this for over 20 years. I first came into this information about in 1998. I started really taking it serious and studying it around 2005, 2004, something like that. Somewhere around there, about 2005, 2004. I started taking the information very seriously and started doing all-out research and studying, and as well as going into court. My first couple of years of doing this information, I spent a lot of time in court because I was fighting a criminal case. Somebody out there talking about I got criminal convictions. That's not a secret. I tell everybody I got criminal convictions. I was a fucking hustler on the street. That's why I tell you, don't try to get anything over on me because I'm from the street, okay? I speak very intelligent, but when you check my jacket, you may get a different opinion about me, all right? So, just appreciate that you got a changed person in front of you right now, all right? Just won't you go for that? I'm not trying. The reason I understand that is I tell everybody everything because I know people going to go and check on me to try to look for something. So I already tell you everything. So you go check on me. It's already been discussed. All right. So I don't understand where that's coming from. So let's talk about some things today. Let's talk about these TDA accounts, secured party, discharging debt, and a lot of information that is currently being disseminated out there. As I said, I'm not here to disparage anyone or try to put anybody down on their processes. This is the thing that I want you all to grasp. First and foremost, there are no instructions written down, formal instructions written down on any of these processes. This is nobody in this space created any of this. If they tell you that, they's a damn lie. One of the things I don't like is people talking about they process. You don't have a fucking process because you took it from someone else. All right. You built this information on the backs of generations of people who came before you. So stop the bullshit and stop pretending like you made this shit up. I didn't make it up. Neither did none of you. All right. We all getting our information from other individuals that have done the research prior to us getting here. So let me make that clear first. Aren't any directions. All right. You have to study. We have to go through experience. Okay. Which is why I read case law. And this is something else I don't understand. Why are you involving yourself in something and you don't read case law, people who got arrested? It's the most idiotic shit I've ever seen. You're sitting here talking about things like TDA accounts and you don't even look to see who's gotten arrested on it. Because somebody gets arrested during the process doesn't mean that the information is wrong. It just means that the way the person went about it was the wrong way. So it doesn't negate the fact I ain't been knowing about TD accounts since day one, because that was the first thing that was told to me 20 years ago, that I have a secret account somewhere with some money that everybody gets issued $650,000, is put in an account, they trade on the account. The older you are, the more the money builds up in that account. So the older you are, you got all this money. I've seen Treasury checks with that big ass number on it and everything that everybody talks about. That's the amount of money that's in the account. I've been to Fidelity Mutual looking up CUSIP numbers. I've emailed CUSIP numbers at hushmail.com to get CUSIP numbers. Okay. I studied Committee on Uniform Securities Identification Process, which is CUSIP.com, mostly an ISIN numbers. I've been around people who trade instruments all over the planet. Okay. I done read everything on becoming a DTC participant. You not telling me nothing I don't know. Just because I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it for a reason. Because people are desperate. People are greedy, and people are going to take advantage of people, because the number one thing in this space, if you want to make a lot of money off of people, it just say, I got the answer to discharge debt. Because all you motherfuckers who are lazy and desperate are going to gravitate to that first. It's easy. I could be making a killing. I could be making a killing with the information that I got. A killing. One, I don't want to excite the ire of the federal government, have them knocking on my door. That's number one. Number two, because I've been doing this so long, I understand that, okay, there is a need for people to get the basics down. The basics. That's why there's so much confusion. One of the basics that you need to get down is trust. If you would get that down, that would alleviate a lot of bullshit that is out there, because the majority of this information has to do with trust. I see questions in my SPC university group, and as soon as I see the question, I say, this person don't know trust. Somebody said, have you established your bond with the Treasury Department, and have you got your trust set up? I'm like, what are you talking about? When you send the bond, that is the trust, but they don't understand that, because in their mind, they only know about express trust. They don't know about a resultant trust, implied trust, or anything like that. All they know is you're supposed to write down a trust on a piece of paper and get a 98 number. That's all they know. They're not trying to read, study it, or nothing. When there's a guide that has the manual that everybody should read, it's right on the internet. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to try to get through as much information as I can. But right now, I want to give an explanation. And thank you. Get the likes up. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for your work, SNIV. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 10. Thank you for the 10 bones. Thank you, King Blaine. Thank you for the $9.99. Ambience for life. I appreciate that. I'm not answering any questions from anyone unless you do a donation. The donations in the red and the pink and the super chats, those are the questions that are going to get answered. All right. So peace to the gods. Are you able to post the second Instagram video you did on Friday? I lost reception of the middle of it. If I didn't post it, I didn't want it up. Don't ask me to post videos, because if I wanted it up, it will be up. A lot of videos I'm chopping up. I'm starting to chop up because I don't get views. What they want us to do now is these 60-second videos. You ain't getting no videos you ain't getting nothing for doing a long-ass video anymore, because people's attention span is so short. So you can see right now I got 50,000 subscribers, and most of my videos only got 5,000 views, 6,000 views, and things like that. What's the point of having 50,000 subscribers if only, and then most of them people ain't even subscribers. Those are people that are just searching on the internet, coming across the video and things like that. They're not even giving most of my videos to my subscribers. So you got to understand there's a business. Two-way God TV, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for the bones. Let's get the likes up also. Likes. Let's get up to about 200 likes. Let's get up. That helps the analytics. When you do the likes, that helps the analytics. And it also helps to refer. Y'all complain about not getting a notification for the video. You don't like the video. Then, of course, they're not going to give you a notification. Like the video. It's going to also make sure that you get information that is similar to this. It's going to start appearing on your stream, on your page. So make sure that you get that. So the first thing I want to say is, number one, none of this is written down. No one has all the answers because that is a maxim of law. Many men knows many things. No man knows everything. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend and sit in front of you that I have all of the answers or that I know everything. The only thing that I can do is give you the benefit of my experience and the accumulation of knowledge that I have acquired over time. That is it, okay? And for the most part, I got a lot of experience of a lot of other individuals that are in this space. Definitely in this right here, because this is something, do y'all think this is new? Let me ask the people a question. You think this is new, the TDA account information? You think that y'all found some information that we didn't look for, 20 years ago? You think you got some answers right now that we didn't have 20 years ago, and you put it on YouTube? And you think you're going to put it on YouTube? You believe that? Let me tell you something. The researchers 20 years ago will put the researchers of the day, they'll plant them in the ground and bury them. Because people today don't read. You got all this internet stuff and social media. It done dumbed down most of society. People aren't reading, writing papers, or doing anything like that the way they were doing 20 years ago. Okay, so let's look at some things. All right, the first thing we're going to look at, I guess I'll get directly into it. All right. I guess I'll get directly into it. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is why I'm always cautioning people against Treasury Direct. Okay. Number one, that is the number one thing that they call people sovereign citizens behind. That's why I don't like it. Okay, I read the cases. I read sovereign poverty law centers articles. They got articles on the Treasury Department website talking about this. So you also have to remember, and I'm not accusing anybody of this, but there are government agents who come and put out information because they want to lead you down rabbit trails or lead you in directions that are going to get you arrested. Because they make a lot of money on people getting arrested, and they want these motherfuckers off the internet and off the street. They want people getting arrested to serve as an example to everybody else that if you do something, if you do this, you're going to get arrested, to make people turn away from it. All right, so the number one thing that I try to do is teach people the basics first to protect them from getting arrested. My first priority in teaching this information and teaching everybody this information is not to get you arrested. Is to not get you arrested. People do get arrested. I have people all the time getting arrested trying to discharge debt, buy cars, squatting houses, make purchases, and things like this. They call me all the time. And I tell them right off the rip, you do understand this is not for purchases. I have to say that because there's nowhere in HJR 192 of June 5th, 1933, Public Law 73-10 and all associated policies that mentions anything about purchasing. Nowhere. So where did you get that from? That I can buy some shit. I don't know where you got it from. It is set off. Discharging debt has 10 different definitions under it. It's actually called discharge of a contract because we're dealing with negotiable instruments, and negotiable instruments are contracts. You get that from the very first paragraph in bills and notes under American jurisprudence. It tells you that, and we'll look at that in a second too. All right, we'll look at that in a second. Matter of fact, let me pull this up. What is a negotiable instrument? And people, let me say this too. You don't use SBC University the way that you should be because all this information is on SBC University. TDA accounts. I put everything on there. I don't hide anything. I just don't talk about it. You don't look for it on the website because there's so much stuff on there. You don't look for it. But it's a ton of shit on there. So let's look at something real quick. All right, so right now we are in SPC University, and we're going to go over into the dictionary portion of this. And I'm going to go into Black's, I think it's either in Bouvier's, but I think it's Black's 4th edition. This is one of those examples where an older dictionary does help you too. All right. So we're going to look for the word discharge. I think it's in this. Let's see if I remember. It's been a while since I looked it up. It's not reading it. So let's see. I didn't read it. And by the way, I want y'all to know I don't even prepare for these. I just turn on the mic and start talking. I don't know if that's good or not, but I done talked about this stuff so much. So just all right. So here's discharge right here. To release, you see that right there. Is it anyway, man? Is this a discharge? I'm trying to make sure. Discharge is generic law of contracts right here. Discharge. Okay, let's read this real quick. This is not what I'm looking for, but let's read it. To cancel or unloose the obligation of a contract. To make an agreement or a contract null and inoperative. As a noun, the word means the act or instrument by which the binding force of contract is terminated, irrespective of whether the contract is carried out to the full extent contemplated, in which case the discharge is the result of performance. That's why this is why I'm always telling you that when you are trying to discharge a debt like a mortgage, you have to have performance. That's why you got to give them a negotiable instrument. Or it's broken off before complete execution. Discharge is a generic term. Its principal species are rescission, release, accord and satisfaction, performance, judgment, composition, bankruptcy, merger, etc. Okay. As applied to demands, claims, rights of actions, encumbrances, etc., to discharge the debt or claim is to extinguish it, to annul its obligatory force, to satisfy it. And here also the term is generic. Thus, a debt, a mortgage, a legacy may be discharged by payment or performance, or by any act of that, lawful in itself, which the creditor accepts as sufficient. Blackwood versus Brown. There's a distinction between a discharge and debt paid. When discharged, the debt still exists, though divested of its character as a legal obligation during the operation of the discharge. Something of the original validity of the debt continues to exist, which may be transferred, even though the transferee takes it subject to its disability incident to the discharge. This is what happened when they discharge a debt and they pass it to a new servicer. This is what they talk about in accord and satisfaction also, UCC 3-611, accord and satisfaction by use of an instrument. All right, so right here, you can see, this is why I read the definitions first. Before I do anything, I always start with the definitions. I go into the dictionaries first and look up the words. Because how do I know what I'm dealing with if I don't know the meaning of the words and the activity that I'm engaged in? This is basic shit, okay? Basic. That a lot of people do not want to fucking do. Just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. Then you have discharge by operation of law is where the discharge takes place, whether it was intended by the parties or not. Thus, if a creditor appoints his debtor, his executor, the debt is discharged by operation of law because the executor cannot have an action against himself. That's interesting. Bankruptcy practice. I'm not going to get into all of these. Civil practice, criminal practice, equity practice, maritime law. Let me see. Trying to see if it's a state, patent law, pleadings. And I think it's in the other book. But anyway, I think we got a good idea though. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it in this other dictionary too. Let me not be lazy. Let me look this up. Bouvier's. And we go into the 1856, volume 1. Let me see if it's in here. All right, let's see right here. So you got it right here. Damn, thing keep messing up. I'm trying to move it over, and this stuff down at the bottom keep popping up. All right, here it is right here. Discharge of a, that's what I was looking for. So it's in Bouvier's 1856. Man, what is this on this bottom of this thing? So right here you see discharge of a contract, the act of making a contract or agreement null. Contracts may be discharged by number 1, payment, 2, accord and satisfaction. All right, like UCC 3-611, 3, release. Okay. 4, set off. 5, the rescission of the contract. 6, extinguishment. 7, confusion where the duty to pay and the right to receive unite is in the same person. Extinction or by the loss of the subject matter of the contract. Deficiency. 10, the inability of one of the parties to fulfill his part. 11, the death of the contractor as where he undertook to teach an apprentice. 12, bankruptcy. 13, by the act of elimination, limitations. 14, by lapse of time. And y'all see it right here. Y'all, I ain't gonna read all these, okay? But this is the one I was looking for. Discharge of a contract. And why is it a contract? Because when we're dealing with negotiable instruments, what is a negotiable instrument? How do we find that out? All right, if we go over here, once again, and we go to our PDF documents, we're on SBC University, go to our library. I have a library with documents. And I have what? American jurisprudence right here in the PDF format. These are invaluable resources for you to study from. And then we have a document called Bills and Notes right here. Bills and Notes stands for Bills of Exchange and Promissory Notes. Bills of Exchange and that's why it's called Bills and Notes. Okay, and just when you're wondering. So bills and notes. All right, so let's read this real quick. And we can read this and we can go into the very first chapter. Wait a minute, did I pass it? I think I passed it. Hold on. See the contractual nature of negotiable instruments. Okay, bills and notes. Here it is. Number one, generally, bills and notes in their various forms are contracts and may be negotiable or non-negotiable. Bills and notes are commonly defined as commercial paper or negotiable or non-negotiable instruments. And in turn, commercial paper is commonly defined as negotiable instruments, drafts, checks, certificates of deposits, and promissory notes. Commercial paper is governed by the provisions of Article 3 of the Uniform Commercial Code. So right here, we can read this and start getting a general understanding of some things. Now we understand that whenever we're dealing with negotiable instruments, we're dealing with a contract. That includes you using Federal Reserve notes, bills of exchange. This is another reason why we do an administrative process, all right? You have to have some written correspondence with it because letters are contracts or agreements, things of that nature, especially if you don't answer your letter and you have a duty to. These are things that basic concepts that you got to get under your belt before you start entering into a lot of these things. Trust is definitely one. Trust is definitely one. Let's look at this real quick. Let's go back to SBC University. Let me see if I've uploaded. I'm still uploading documents on this website. I just uploaded a lot of them. This is going to be a very interesting today, so y'all stay around. This Weiss Concise Trustee Handbook. This is a document, one of the first documents I came across on the internet. It's been on the internet a very long time. Carlton Weiss wrote it. Carlton, if you're listening, keep your ass out of secured party and stay the fuck in the subject that you know, which is trust, and shut the fuck up about secured party because you know what the fuck you're talking about. All right? But you do know a lot about trust. Okay? So right here, Weiss Concise Trustee Handbook, a guide to the administration of an express trust under the common law, functioning under the general law merchant. And this is the best free resource that you're going to get on the internet. It's the best free resource. If you want, this is what I started out with. I started out with this, and then I read Express Trust under the common law. And then I got some mentorships. But what started me on my journey was reading this right here. Actually, what started me on my journey was first looking up the definition of all the words. I looked at the definition of trust, settlor, okay, trustor, grantor, creator. Looked up those words. Then I looked up what a trust corpus was, or a raise, R-E-S, trust raise. Then I looked up what a trust protector was. Then I looked up what a beneficiary was. I looked up all these words first. And then I went into the subject. But I always start with looking up the word. That's what I do with anything. The reason you don't understand something is because you don't know the meaning of the fucking word. This is fundamental education. If you were bad in school, I guarantee you didn't have a good vocabulary. If you were bad in math, you don't have a good vocabulary. You don't have a good vocabulary because you're lazy. And since you're lazy, you don't look up words. And since you don't look up words, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Okay? It's very, very simple. This is not complex. Okay? If you don't read, all right, reading is fundamental. I got you, 1NG. Go to my website and schedule the consultation on my website. If you want a consultation with me, please do not hit me no more. Right here on my website is consultations. You go right here, and there's the calendar, and you can see the calendar is full for this month. You might get next month. Okay, there's a calendar where you schedule consultations on my website. You do not have to be a member to schedule a consultation. Consultations are $350 an hour. Do not send me $200 talking about you want a consultation. I'm going to take it as a donation. because I ain't never charged $200 for a consultation. All right, so back to the dashboard. All right, so right here. All right, so we got some basic stuff going on. Now, I'm going to preference something, and I'm going to show you something. I remember, and I'm going to get in, and this is going to take us on a trip real quick about the TDA accounts. All right, so this is a document that I found years ago where a guy posted this in a chat room. Did it download? Oh, shoot. Hold on. And this is your Chris report right here. This right here shows you, this is a real interesting document right here because it shows you, somebody put this on the internet a long time ago. This is the court registry investment system, which you should look up. And right here it shows how all these court cases have CUSIP numbers on them. I don't know who put this on the internet. Somebody was telling on somebody and put this on the internet, but it shows how they make money off of each of these court cases, all right, off these treasury bills associated with these case numbers. These are juveniles right here. You can see right here, that's the case number, how much money and everything they get in. These are minor cases information. All right, this is the case number right here. If you go over here, you can see that each of them has a CUSIP number. Where is the CUSIP number? Right here, here's the CUSIP number right here. You see the CUSIP number, U.S. Treasury bill, all of this. The courts are tied to the Treasury Department. I have no doubt about this. All my research has shown me, even warrants. Warrants get, a warrant is a check and they get cashed at the Treasury Department. I've seen just too much information. I've had a Bloomberg screen and I've seen all of the criminal cases everywhere in the United States of America. And I called up to New York and asked them, why are y'all tracking criminal cases? And the guy just told me on the phone, well, they just do that. So I don't have any doubt what I'm talking about. I've seen this with my own eyes. I'm not talking about anything speculative right now. I've seen all of this stuff. I've done years of research into it. I don't talk about, a lot of people, they'll come on and talk about it and it's exciting to you. Because you're like, well, why do Yusuf don't talk about this? Why Yusuf ain't talking about this right here? Because I have talked about it. I've done damn webinars and things on it. Oh, years ago. I stopped doing that because number one, I saw that people don't read. And when people don't read, if you tell them to do something that don't work, they're going to slander you. I tried what Yusuf told me to do and it didn't work. That's why I'm doing these reviews right now to show you how these idiots go into court and how they talk when they don't have any preparation. They don't know anything. They just think they can go in and say some magic words or they do what somebody told them to fucking do. And if it don't work, they blame that person and they don't take any responsibility for themselves. So I started a school to make people take responsibility for themselves and to go about the hard work of showing people how all of this is real and is not some sort of fantasy. Instead of just saying, hey, look, somebody about to take my house. Can I discharge the debt, Yusuf? Can you show me how to put together a bill of exchange and, just send my bond to the Treasury Department? Okay, I got my green card back. Okay, can I write a negotiable instrument and discharge? This is all motherfuckers. When you've been hearing that for 20 motherfucking years, what would you do? What would you do? Some of you out there are experts in some field where you are competent in the subject matter and you see there are foolish people around you trying to look, because it's all about quick and easy. Quick and easy. They want quick, fast money. I know the reason I say that I'm a hustler because I used to make fast money. Fast money goes, for anything you get fast because it's going to go fast. It's going to go fast. Ain't really no such thing. You have to earn whatever it is that you want. I hustled for 10 years. You can't tell me shit about the dope game, white collar crime, cars, boosting, credit card fraud. You can't tell me about none of that shit. And then the stuff that I ain't participated in, the motherfuckers was bringing me their cases in jail and everything, and I read all about it. Got a very good education. I didn't got to handle niggas got murder cases, motherfuckers that's moved. You ain't even seen a motherfucker that's moving motherfucking 500 keys a month, and he's partnered with Pablo Escobar and the motherfucking president of Haiti. And I'm reading his motherfucking case, and he got 18 baby mamas. Don't let these women out here fool you talking about niggas as dogs. They all screwing. 80% of these women are screwing 20% of the guys with money. That's why 50% of you men out there don't got a woman. That's why all these women got multiple baby daddies. Hell, 55% of y'all 55% of you men don't even have a child. So how you a dog? I done seen this. So I talk the way that I do. I'm passionate the way that I am. I don't hold no bars no more. I used to. That's why you listen to my old shows. You see how polite I am when you listen to my old radio shows? You see how polite and patient I was? You don't see that no more, do you? You don't see any of that anymore, do you? Go and listen to my old radio shows. People calling in, I let them talk. I'm courteous. I take my time. I don't use profanity a lot or anything like that. I demonstrate how educated I am. I don't give a fuck about that no more. Because I know what I'm dealing with. I understand human nature. All right, so right here, there's the CUSIP. So let me show you this real quick. What is this called? It's called instructions. Right. Let me look for this real quick. I think this is it right here. Instructions. Why'd I put that thing? Instructions. What's it called? It's called instructions for. I thought I just put it on. Wait a minute, hold on. I thought I just put it on the website. What happened to it? Let me see. I had uploaded this because I want to show y'all that I'm gonna show y'all the best instructions that I've seen for a TDA account. So share it in there. These are the best instructions that I have seen for a TDA account. All right, I'm gonna show you the best instructions that I have seen for a TDA account. And I've had this for about, I don't know, 13 years or something like that. And let me see if I can get it on here real quick. Yeah, I can. All right, just give me about 30 more seconds, y'all. I'm going to pull it up for you. And let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's what it was. Okay, wait a minute, hold on, y'all. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, all right, that's the reason for the problem. Because I don't think I have word on here. Do it? Yeah, I don't have word on here. Okay, hold on. Give me another minute. Okay. And while I'm pulling this up, the TDA account, okay, when I first came into this, everybody was talking about the TDA account. Everybody. This is like in 2003, 2004. All right. The reason why, as soon as I hear somebody talking about it, I know that they don't know what they're talking about, is because they ain't understanding public versus private. All right. Which is fundamental, or trust. Okay, that's the first thing I listen for. I say, okay, does this person understands public versus private, and do they understand trust? All right, if they don't understand trust or anything like that, I say, okay, this person don't know what they're talking about. All right, they sitting here, it sounds real good, but they ain't got the fundamentals down. Because once you understand public versus private, you know where your power is. Okay. You don't have any power in the public. None. All right? You don't have no power in the public. Why? Because the Constitution for the United States of America is what governs the public. Yeah, you are the people. Well, we the people. That does not mean you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't know where you're getting this notion from, or, something like that. You think because we the people and we established the country and we gave them a delegation of power and some kind of way that translates into you can just do anything you want whenever you want is the biggest lie going. And it is an example of people not understanding trust law. The Constitution is a trust. The Federal Reserve Act is a trust. We're going to talk about Puerto Rico too. Why I don't send documents to Puerto Rico. I don't send documents to Puerto Rico because I read the Federal Reserve Act. Most of y'all are just doing shit because somebody told you to do it. But I'm going to show you where the information came from. I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to show you where it came from. Okay? Because you're just doing shit because a motherfucker tell you to do it. Well, I was told, somebody told me to send it to Puerto Rico. To send it to send my paperwork to Puerto Rico. I'm like, why did you send it to Puerto Rico? Why? Because there's a Treasury, there's a Treasury, that's the real Treasury Department. It's in Puerto Rico. I said, okay, so why do you think that? Well, somebody told me. Where did you get that from? I got my birth certificate authenticated, Yusuf. What's the next step? Why did you get the birth certificate authenticated? Because somebody told me. Where did you get that from? I don't know. Somebody told me it made sense to me to get it authenticated. So I'll be the original. Okay. All right. So where are you getting this from? Where are you getting your information? Are you just getting information? Let me tell you, you're going to go through that process. I'm not saying that's bad because you have to learn from the people who came prior to you. But what you're going to find out, some of you out there are extremely intelligent. Some of you have a higher IQ than I do. Okay? But you're not familiar with this information. Once you get familiar with the information, you're going to go back behind me and I see all the mistakes I make. I'm not the best writer. I make a lot of fucking typos because they got all this goddamn corrective shit on here, and I'm typing so fast my fingers, the damn autocorrect change a word into something, I don't review it and push send, and it look fucked up. I do that a lot because I'm always in a hurry. And, I say things and go back and listen, and I'm like, what did I just say? Because my mind is going faster than my mouth, So I'll say things that aren't correct. And I go back and look at that and I say, man, well, how the hell did I say that? Gene Keating does it. A lot of us do it. So you can't take everything we say literal. You have to, did Yusuf just mean what he just said? That was fucked up what he just said. It probably was. It probably was. There's a story. It's a story about the woman who baked the bread. There was a woman who baked, I want y'all to listen to this. This is a lesson. There was a woman who baked some bread. And whenever she baked her bread, she would cut the ends of her bread off to put it in and then put it in the pan. She put the dough, cut the ends of the dough off and put it in the pan. So an observant of this asked the lady, why do you cut the ends of the dough off the bread before you put it in the pan? She said, I don't know. That's what my mama used to do. So, okay, well, that's curious. Let's go ask your mother. So we go to the mother and we ask the mother, ma'am, why your daughter, she cuts off the ends of her dough of her bread before she puts it in the pan to bake it. And she says she got this from you. Why did you do that? And she said, I don't know. That's what my mother used to do. And so then we go to the grandmother and ask her the same question. And she says, I don't know. That's what my mother used to do. And then we finally get to the great grandma and ask her, why do you cut the ends of your bread off of the dough, off of your bread whenever you are baking? Why do you do this? And she said, because my pan was too little. Now, this is what you have going on today. You have people who are trying to bake a cake and are following instructions of someone without any foundation of why they are doing what they're doing. All right. And you don't understand, like with the birth certificate authentication, that comes from Minnesota Rules of Practice 220. But none of you have studied it and researched it. But you're just doing it. And I've been saying it. And this is what's so bad, what I don't like to do. I don't like to do videos like this because the last time I had to do something like this was the passport application. And I did that video on the passport application. I had motherfuckers attacking me. Yusuf, you put out this information. You need to explain it. And I had to tell this lady to go fuck herself. Bitch, get out of my fucking face. I told you in the beginning of this goddamn video the reason why I did it. Now get the fuck out of my face. And I got to talk to people like that. Because if I say it politely, the motherfucker just keep coming. So I got to go full nigga mode on them and let her know I'm from the street. And like, bitch, you better get out of my face. I told you why I did the shit. Now shut the fuck up. But you don't want me talking like that. I don't want to talk like that. Listen to all my radio shows. I never used to talk like that. I never talk like that. I mean, that thing with that passport thing, it got 500,000 views. I was not expecting it to do that many views. I was not expecting it to do that many views. And so people were asking me questions like I was the authority. I said, look, I just did the video because it's right over there on Copper Moonshine Steels. I don't know the man. He's been on there since 2010. I've been reading that website since 2010. Your dumb motherfucking ass paying somebody $2,000 for it. That's how MJ was charging. I was like, well, damn, man, it's right there on the website. So I just read it. Shit blew up. Then you had people saying it was my information and I was responsible for explaining it. And at the beginning of the damn video, it says very clearly, look, motherfucker, if you don't understand this, don't ask me no goddamn questions. If you can't follow that simple instruction, why are you doing any of this? It man tell you right there in the beginning of the video, don't contact me for no questions. If you don't understand it, don't do it. Because I'm not answering any questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't understand. I don't know what else to say. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't know what to say, man. I do not know what to say. I'm sitting here telling these people what it is. They ain't listening to nothing nobody says or nothing like. Then you got people that come on the website, right? They come on the website. And they come on the website. They come on the website. I'm looking at my camera right now. I'm trying to figure why didn't it switch? The camera didn't switch. Switch not working? Shoot. Okay, I just stay it right here. They'll come on the website. They'll come on my YouTube channel and things like that. Don't even do no research on me or nothing like that. Start making comments in the under the videos about shit I done talked about like a million times. Ask me questions. I'm like, damn man, I got a million videos on this damn YouTube channel talking about that. Why is you asking me this question? You know, they'll do no due diligence or research on you whatsoever. They just come on and just immediately start commenting, attacking you, or doing things like that. And you're like, I'm like, well, man, I agree with you pretty much, you know, because I say that all the time. But that's what you got in today's social media world. Let me see if I can get this pulled up now. This is the best instructions that I have. Ah, damn, this is not gonna pull up. Shoot. I don't know why this thing is not showing. I don't know why this thing is not putting me back on the screen. This is crazy. Let me see. All right, y'all, hold on. Y'all, hold on. I'm gonna try to reboot this. It looked like it froze up. So let me reboot this real quick. Just give me a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had a issue. I'm back. I don't know what. Sometimes, you know, think because I'm on a wire. I need to get back to where I can get a hard line because it's I'm streaming off of Wi-Fi. I don't like doing that. That Wi-Fi, too many potential problems happen with that. Okay, let me get back to what I was just explaining to all of you. Let's see where. All right. Let me see if I can pull it up first. This is, as I was saying earlier, this is some of the best instructions that I have found for a Treasury Direct Account. All right, so if we go over to, I don't know why I don't. It's almost like somebody don't want me to show y'all this shit. I'm like, you know, for real. And I'm gonna tell you what I think about everything. Okay, and this is okay. This is on SBC University. All right. Okay, now somebody put this in a I don't know who it was, but it was somebody who put it in a chat room like years ago. And the reason that I like it is because Tony King came around and was saying something very similar to it. And it's in dealing with CUSIP numbers, the DTC, Treasury Direct Accounts, and things like that. So let's read this real quick. It says, this is about how to access your master strawman account. Actually, this just creates an account to discharge your bills. It won't let you buy up a lot of new stuff with it. I found it in another group where the guy posted it a month ago, but hasn't posted anything more since. Basically, you take ownership of your birth certificate using a UCC1, which is incorrect. You don't take ownership of it, dude. And then use that as authority to create a discharge bond. Same shit we do in SBC University. And it should work as A for V with 100% success rate. I know people are out there talking about that. Now notice he said should work. He ain't did this shit himself. He found this in a chat room. He don't motherfucking know. But me reading it, I read it and say, you know what? There's some credence to this because I've done a lot of research and it's some credence to this. He goes on, he said, by the way, this is what the SPC process attempts to do, but falls short because it apparently uses incorrect process. Oh, wait, did I just share a $100 million secret with everyone for free? That's another thing. They started making the bonds $100 million because $100 million is what you need to put on a trading platform. That's why they have $100 million, what that number is used. Because they are monetizing those bonds behind the scene. If you don't think they are, you're foolish. And they're monetizing them. All right, so it goes on. It says, oh, wait, did I just share a $100 million secret with everyone for free? I meant to say everyone who uses this to access their master account owes me $5,000. Laughing. Shit ain't funny. Motherfuckers just want to get that $5,000. In order to receive a CUSIP number for your birth certificate bond, first you have to file your UCC1. Once you file your UCC1, you will get the file number, create your bond with the UCC trust account. Notice it's called a UCC trust account. It's not a separate trust. It is the account, but I have to explain that. Send your bond to the Secretary of the Treasury, not Puerto Rico. When you receive your green card, you know they have been notified you have claimed your birth certificate. You can then use your bond number to apply for a CUSIP number from www.cusip.com. Register for a new identifier as a 144A private security. If not, you will have to apply through the New York Stock Exchange via SEC. Make sure you hire a trust firm to handle your DTC application. You have to obtain CUSIP number for your bond. Okay, now why is that? CUSIP stands for Committee on Uniform Securities Identification Process. These are numbers that track securities. These are tracking numbers. We don't do that on the private side because the registered mail number is the tracking number. It's just a tracking number for a security, and it's verified. Okay, so you got something called a customer information sheet. Anybody out there dealing with negotiable instruments, you know what I'm talking about, where you have to have a verified instrument and an attorney involved. In other words, what collateral is supporting this security? That's what everybody wants to know. What collateral is supporting this security? So you get a CUSIP number or an ICING number once the instrument has been verified. A lot of people, they don't know nothing about this. They just talking and shit like that, you know. To obtain a Q, they did like these instructions. This dude don't know what he's fucking talking about. Everything in these instructions, there's some general ass shit that he's passing down. However, in reading it, I can see, oh, this is a clue. I just look at this as a clue. I didn't take this as the gospel, what this motherfucker's talking about. He got some shit out of a damn message board. Because I done heard about the DTC 1,000 times, and I'm going to show you, all right? Everybody who's been in this has heard about CUSIP and the DTC since day motherfucking one. The Depository Trust Corporation, the Depository Trust Clearing Corporation, Seed Corporation, most of y'all don't even know what that is, CEDE, is the biggest holding company on planet Earth. Your birth certificate goes from vital statistics to the Department of Commerce, to the Department of Treasury, to the DTC, to a holding company called Seed Corporation. Seed means to concede, which means to relinquish. You've conceded something. Y'all never heard of Seed Corporation? C-E-D-E. Somebody call it CD Corporation. Seed Corporation. Seed Company right here. Seed and Company, also known as Seed and Company or Seed and Company, shorthand for certificate depository, is a specialist United States financial institution that processes and transfers of stock certificates on behalf of the Depository Trust Company, the central securities depository used by the United States National Market System, which includes the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. Seed Technology owns most of the publicly issued stock in the United States. Thus, most investors do not themselves hold direct property rights in stock, but rather have contractual rights that are part of a chain of contractual rights involving seed. Securities held at Depository Trust Company are registered in a nominee name or street name, Seed and Company, and recorded on his books. Now, let me just show y'all something real quick. Let's go back to SPC University real quick. Let's go to our dashboard. And we're going to go to the section on, I have it on here, gurus. I didn't have my guru section back up here. I'm going to have to add it back on. I think I took it down for a second. So hold on real quick. Let me add it back on here real quick. Show y'all this real quick. Glad I'm doing this. It's showing me stuff I need to add back on the site. It got taken down. Let's do it like this. Oh, this is some student. I got to cut access also to my Dropbox to some of y'all students. Y'all be uploading all kind of garbage into the damn Dropbox. All right, here it is right here. And what I'm going to show you is this guy named Tony King. All right. All right. Tony King is DTC banking, and like right here, y'all can see that I got like stuff in there. I got all kind of stuff about TDA accounts, TDA social security numbers. I got like a ton of stuff on TDA accounts and things like that. But let me see, where is it at? Got a million things on here. He had the DTC application. All right, it's the DTC application. And in there, he talks about at length of, and this is what I thought about him. I'll go ahead and tell you. I wanted to show it to you, but I'll have to dig through too much stuff to show it to you, but I'll dig it up. What I connected the dots, he was explaining this DTC application. The way that he was explaining it was ingenious, and it connected to what this guy is talking about right here on this website on how to get this this $1 million bond that you're trying to get for your DTC application. All this stuff, it's like a puzzle that you got to put together. And so what people will do is they'll come and say, well, act like they got pieces to the puzzle. And, and then next thing you know, it sounds real good, but there are a lot of different things that have been left out. Let me go back and finish reading this real quick. So you see right here, and I'm gonna go back to the Tony King thing. It says, once you file your UCC1, you get your file number, create your bond with the UCC trust account, send your bond to the Secretary of Treasury. When you receive your green card, you know that you have been notified that you have claimed your birth certificate. You can then use your bond to apply for a CUSIP number from CUSIP.com. Register as a new identifier as a 144A, that's private securities. A private security. If not, you will have to apply through the New York Stock Exchange or your SEC. Make sure you hire a trust firm to handle your DTC application. Now, that's what Tony King talks about, the DTC application. That's what I was going to let you see. When you obtain a CUSIP number to your bond, it is illegal to use CUSIP numbers from other instruments. It's illegal to use other routing numbers from other banks. Something that this is what people get arrested for. This is what people get arrested for. They lock your ass up. Everybody actually get arrested. You fucking with them down routing numbers, you're going to get locked up. All right. And I have to do this on a show like this. So when you get fucking locked up, you can't say, yeah, you told me to use a routing number on my instrument and I got arrested. I tried to purchase a car. I went into the dealership. I got a purchase order, and I did what you said. That's what they always said. I did what you said, Yusuf. They don't take no accountability for themselves. I have never, let me tell you something. Everything that I have done, successful or unsuccessful, you have never heard me say somebody else told me to do it. I did what he told me to do. I don't do that because when I get information, I go and verify it because I've been to prison before. I've been to prison. I know what prison is like. I'm not trying to go back. I don't give a fuck what somebody tells me. I'm going to do my due diligence and verify that shit for myself. A motherfucker that ain't never been to prison, they don't think like that. They don't think it's possible. They don't know how the feds get down. They don't know how the state get down. A lot of times, they're just doing some shit. They don't know how the fuck these motherfuckers operate. So right here, he tell you right here in the instructions, don't use CUSIP numbers from y'all trying to look up shit on Fidelity Mutual website and shit like that. Don't you get your own damn CUSIP number, okay? All right. You have to set up your Treasury account up to get your own routing number. That's right. I have an account with the Treasury Department, by the way. Set up your Federal Reserve Bank. To discharge debt, make sure when you apply for your CUSIP, you apply for as a debt instrument if that is what you're going to discharge debt. You have to set up the TDA once you have DTC questionnaire complete, and you will need an advising pass-through bank in order to complete this process. They will be the transfer agent for the Treasury. The Federal Reserve will not send you funds. Those funds will go directly to the pass-through bank for discharge only, which means they settle the debt from this account. Now, okay, I'm going to bite. Can't hurt to learn something new, but I have a couple of questions. Have you done this process yourself? As of yet, are you still studying or coaching the process? Yes, we have successfully processed and completed a CUSIP application that was assigned a CUSIP number to be registered with the DTC. So that means I have other questions for you. Okay, that ain't shit, getting a CUSIP number. That's not impressive to me. That's not impressive to me. I deal with niggas all the time, get CUSIP numbers and ISIN numbers. Thank you in advance for your patience with someone not nearly as knowledgeable about this as you. Also had to learn the process and spend money to get there. I don't mind sharing what I know and what I've learned. Okay, so that's it. All right, now, if you notice that there are a couple of things that were interesting about this. Number one, first of all, that he had to get a trust. He had to get a law firm to do it. You had to become a DTC participant if you did not get registered through a 144A4 security. Do you understand what a security is, first and foremost? Why it's a registered security? That'd be something else that we'd have to go through and explain. Is it a verified security? Is it something that can be negotiated? Also, the reason that you're setting up a trust, as he's explaining right here, is because just what I understand about the federal government doesn't do anything for your own self-aggrandizement, meaning that they're not going to set up an account that you can go in and get money and start buying cars and different shit like that out of. It's never happening. It's not going to happen. Everything they do is for commercial purposes. All right, it is to facilitate commerce. All right, even with the black card, it's to facilitate commerce. They want to know if you're going to open up a business and put people's asses to work and make taxpayers. It's a shame I got to say all this on YouTube because this really don't belong on YouTube. It really don't belong on YouTube. But when people start coming into my SPC group talking about this shit, and I see they ain't did no due diligence on anything like that, all they trying to do is get a CUSIP number and account and start buying some shit. That's all they thinking about. Can they get something for free? And did they have a right for something for free? And this is what get everybody in trouble. It's the wrong mindset. The thing that has spread. Heather Antucci. I don't remember. Y'all remember Heather Antucci? About 3 years ago, I did a video on her. About 3 years ago. She came out with the thing on the back of the social security number. You know, that number on the back of your social security number is an account number. And we used to convert the letter into a number and then match it up with a Treasury Federal Reserve routing number for that specific letter. Like you have Chicago Federal Reserve, Dallas Federal Reserve, Atlanta Federal Reserve. They each have routing numbers, and that's an account number back of your card. And then we put that on a negotiable instrument and pay a bill with it, and it would work. And then later on, it would probably come back on you. But there were a couple of guys who learned how to do it. It never came back until they received a visit from 2 Federal Reserve agents. And this is how you get clues. What the agents told them is, if you're going to use this, you need to fill out the right paperwork. And this is when we get into the Federal Reserve Circular number 1 and setting up an account. So there's a lot of information out there on this information. It's a lot of stuff revolving around this. I know all about it. Black cards, white cards, Treasury Direct Accounts, trust, DTC applications, CUSIP numbers, ISIN numbers. I'm familiar with all of that shit. And it's because I know all about it that I open up a university and teaching people the basics. Because you don't know no fundamental shit. You're just trying to run through it and get something. I don't know what you think you're going to get. Because number one, from my information, they're not letting everybody do this. Only people who are competent enough to do it. People who have passed a background check. And they're going to take you in a private meeting and tell you that if you tell anybody about this, you're going to lose all the privileges and something else possibly could happen to you. See, that's what they don't tell you about all this information. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Well, if it was easy, everybody would fucking do it. This ain't nothing new. Y'all crazy. All this stuff is on SPC University. All of it. Does it have some credence to it? Yes, it does. Almost everything. Almost any type of rumor or urban legend or something like that gonna have some sort of basis. But the problem is, it's just like this. If you take 100 people and put them in a circle, just stand in a circle, 100 people, and then I whisper something into the ear of the person to my right, and I tell him to whisper exactly what I said into the next person's ear. And you go all the way around the circle till it get back to me, and this person whispers in my ear. Do you think what I whispered in this person's ear is going to be exactly the same thing that this person whispers in my ear. The reason that it's not is because somebody in the chain is going to change one word. He might change a "the" to an "a," or to an "of," or to a "for," or something, just something real insignificant. But then the next person does it and changes another word real insignificant. And then the next person does it. And then the next person does it. And by the time it gets back to you, it don't look like nothing that it was originally being talked about and discussed. That's why you have to go to the source and find out the information from the source. Because you got to be able to make a determination, okay, is this accurate information? I remember I tried to buy a house. I'll tell y'all this. I tried to buy a house and went to closing with it. House was about $800,000, about $800,000 house. I'm going to purchase it. This is early on when I know what I was doing. I was using routing numbers and all that kind of stuff. I was doing all that. And I took the instrument to the attorney's law office. I took it to the attorney on closing, to close with it. This was some of the weirdest shit that ever happened to me. And I always remember this, and I'm going to tell you the story because I think y'all deserve the story. Y'all want information. I'm here to give you information. So I did an international bill of exchange, and I put routing numbers on it. I've also deposited international bills of exchange. It's supposed to not go to collections, and they actually accepted it and wanted me to come back up to the bank, which is you're going to take a risk if you go back up to that bank. All right. I've done all of that. Deposited instruments and accounts. Try to purchase cars, houses. I ain't going to tell you what I've been successful with, but there's credence to all of that. There's credence to all of that. But the first thing you have to understand is you're dealing with negotiable instruments. No one is required to do business with you. So get that shit out of your fucking mind. You're not going to force anybody to accept anything unless it is for a debt, a public debt obligation. If you're going out trying to buy some shit, nobody has to do no business with you. Nobody has to accept your instrument. That's why it's called negotiable. All right? So I give it to the attorney. He looks at it. He stand there and look at it. He look at it a long time. It's in Atlanta, Georgia, too. I think in Dunwoody. I ain't going to tell where his office was, but he was in, and I had a witness with me. I'm going to see if I can get him. To come on the show and talk. He a guy don't know nothing about this. He just went with me to the office because he was a boyfriend of the girl that we trying to get the house. So he went with me up to this attorney's office. And so the attorney looked at the negotiable instrument. Have you done this before? This nigga knew what it was. Fucked me up. He said, have you done this before? And I lied and said, yes, I have. He said, okay. He took it, went and deposited in the bank. They got 10 days to process it. On the exact 10th day, he called me. He said, hey, the bank did not clear your instrument. And as a matter of fact, they said it could possibly be fraud. He didn't say it was fraud. He said it could possibly be fraud. So I hung up the phone. I said, we're going to go up there. We went up to the bank and said, hey, look, man, y'all either going to close on this house or give me my instrument back. Now, he got in it. This is a white man, and he got two big brothers in his office, and he's by himself. All right. And I came in with a badass attitude. He was scared. He was visibly shaken. And he said, whoa, 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 whoa. Look, if you're going to use those accounts, you got to fill out the right paperwork, and then you got to transfer the funds into that. This nigga started explaining to me how to use the account. This is an attorney I'm talking to. Because he was nervous. And he started telling me, and he was talking so fast, I didn't catch everything he was saying. And he gave me back a copy of my instrument and showed all the how it routed. It routed through the system, and it looked like it cleared, but he didn't never give me back my original instrument. But he started explaining if you're going to use those accounts. Now, that led into the Federal Reserve Operation Circular number 1, which also is the black card application, all right? As well as what Tony King was saying, because the things he was saying to me was some of the same shit I'd heard Tony King say. And I'm like, I'm saying, okay. I'm saying, you got to he said, ain't no money in them accounts. You got to put money, you got to transfer the money. And it's kind of what these instructions, what this guy is saying right here, that the money is not for purchases or anything, it's for discharging debt. And I understand why you set it up as a trust. It's the same thing that's happening with the revaluation. They want you to set up a trust because those funds have to be directed to a certain project. They're not for you to do whatever you want to do with them. So this is why you have to understand trust also. And this is why you have to understand public versus private. So I'm reading all of this. I'm getting all this information from these different sources, but all of them are kind of leading into one thing. Okay, accessing this account that everybody keeps talking about. Now, here's the kicker though, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is a process. It's not secure party process though. It's not secure party process. Secure party process is a private process. When you start dealing with routing numbers, CUSIP numbers, and things like that, you're going into the public. You're taking private securities into the public. The reason why you're sending it to the Treasury Department and you're using a registered mail as the tracking number, because we understand the holder in due course rules. And we just need evidence of who the holder of that negotiable instrument is. We also have to look up and understand what constitutes a deposit, what constitutes a financial institution, which is what the Treasury Department is, what constitutes a private banker. These are things you got to know if you're going to do all of this stuff. But you ain't being taught none of this. You're not being taught any of this stuff I'm talking about. What is a financial institution? Does anybody on here? Let's look and see what a financial institution is. And the reason we found this out is because we were dealing with California. And the notaries out there, they passed a law to try to stop what people was doing, said notaries can only do administrative processes for financial institutions. So I contacted them and I asked them to provide me with a definition of financial institution and where they derived it from. And the lady got off the phone with me. So I went into 31 USC and found this. Under 31 USC 5312, and you can see it right here. It says, financial institution means an insured bank as defined in Section 3H of the Federal Depository Insurance Act. A commercial bank or trust company, a private banker is what you are, an agency or branch of a foreign bank of the United States, any credit union, a thrift institution, a broker or dealer registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, 15 U.S.C. 7888 exec. A broker or dealer in securities or commodities, an investment bank or investment company, a currency exchange or a business engaged in the exchange of currency, funds, or value that substitutes for currency or funds, an issuer, redeemer, or cashier of traveler's checks, money orders, or similar instruments, an operator of a credit card system. If you operate a credit card system, you're a private banker. An insurance company, a dealer in precious metals, stones, or jewels. Pawnbroker, pawn shops or financial institutions. A loan or finance company, a travel agency, a licensed sender of money, or any other person who engages as a business in the transmission of currency, funds, or value that substitutes for currency, including any person who engages as a business in an informal money transfer system, or any network of people who engage as a business in facilitating the transfer of money domestically or internationally outside of the conventional financial institution system. A telegraph company, a business engaged in vehicle sales, your dealerships. Including automobile, airplane, and boat. Persons involved in real estate closings. Are you a person involved in a real estate closing at the table when you sign that promissory note? Are you a private banker and are you making a deposit at a financial institution at the closing table? The United States Postal Service. Oh, you get money orders from there. No wonder they're a financial institution. An agency of the United States government or of a state or local government carrying out a duty or power of business described in this paragraph. X, a casino, gambling casino, gaming establishment with an annual gaming revenue of more than $1 million, which, number one, is licensed as a casino, gambling casino, or gambling establishment under the laws of any state or any political subdivision of any state, or, number two, in an Indian gaming operation conducted under or pursuant to the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, other than an operation which is limited to Class 1 gaming as defined in Section 4-6 of such act. Why? Any business or agency which engages in any activity which the Secretary of Treasury determines by regulation to be an activity which is similar to, related to, or a substitute for any activity in which any business described in this paragraph is authorized to engage in, or any other business designated by the Secretary whose cash transactions have a high degree of usefulness in criminal, tax, or regulatory matters. So right here, we got a definition of, now you know what a financial institution is. All right. So prior to me showing this to you, and if you're new to this, you didn't know what the fuck a financial institution was. You thought the fucking just the bank or something like that was a financial institution. Once again, these are some of the things you got to know before you start doing stuff like this, which is why I did SPC University, because I'm trying to get people with the basics before we start doing TDA accounts, CUSIP numbers, ISIN numbers, dealing with negotiable papers and securities, discharging debt, acquisition of, of material items and things. It's all business. This is all business. Everything I have ever studied in this subject, it's been about business. And some of you ain't even made that connection yet. You don't even see this as business. You see it as, I have a right to get something for free. My mindset ain't even like that. What next I want to talk about? I wanted to show you this Tony King DTC application. I think I put some of his audios on YouTube, but nobody listens to them. I put the audios right there on YouTube. Nobody listened to them. I put them on DTC, talking about the DTC. I put the audio, everything he was talking about on YouTube. All his documentation, I have all of that and everything. And it was like, it was good information. The reason I got the information is because of everything I'm telling you right now. Is that me doing things myself, listening, like when that attorney, he was telling me all that information, I was like, damn, that sounds just like what old boy was saying with the DTC application, and as well as what Gene Keating and all those guys, they were doing that black card application with Operation Circular Number 1, because if you're going to do banking, you don't have a signature card on file. To write checks off an account, you have to have a signature card on file. You have to have authorization. You don't even have that. You ain't doing nothing banking. You just want to access an account that you didn't create. You don't know nothing about trust. You think that you have access to the trust as a beneficiary, when a fundamental principle of trust law is that the trustee has all of the liability and has all the power. But you think because your name is on it, you're supposed to have access to it. We've been doing this shit for 20, man, y'all ain't talking about shit new, man. People been pursuing this for they've been pursuing it for 20 years while I've been in it. They was pursuing it before that, just like with the revaluation. I found about revaluation around 2010 and 11. Then I found out like 15 years prior to that, they've been saying that the revaluation was going to occur the next day, about 15 years prior before I ever got on. That's what you have to understand about this information. When you're dealing with this information, ain't nothing new. This shit is not new. It's new to you. Because there's always a new crowd of people coming in. There's new people who register for my website every fucking day. For the last 7 years, I've got a new customer every day. There's somebody new every day finding out about this. Every day. And you hear it and you think it's new. It's not new. I'm not saying medallion stamps. We did the medallion stamps. You got different amounts for the medallion. The medallion stamp is a bank guarantee. We're doing medallion stamps on our negotiable instruments. We did all of that. I done got medallion stamps on my internet. I had a documentary draft that I did a medallion stamp on. Bill of exchange. That's not really nothing to get either. Go to the right place. Every financial institution doesn't offer them. But these are not new. There's nothing that you're doing is new. It's not new. I issued a challenge to people. I said, bring me something I ain't seen before. Bring me some information I ain't seen before. Ain't nobody been able to do it. Ain't nobody been able to do it. You can't bring me nothing I ain't seen before. You crazy if you think you can. You crazy. Let me tell you something. They done took more information off the internet than what's on the internet now. They've been scrubbing the internet of information. We used to have chat rooms where guys would be discussing putting the birth certificate on the trading platform. That's why they have $100 million on the bond. People who are successfully have monetized a birth certificate on a trading platform. But of course, you got to be a DTC participant. It's a whole bunch of shit you got to do to be able to do that. And a lot of these people, they have their own, they don't have a driver's license. They have their own private land, okay? They grow their own food. They have an insular environment, and they're wealthy. But you don't know none of that, you know? So what am I doing? Okay, what we're doing is this. We're saying, okay, how can you get from here to there? All right, well, first, let's learn public and private. Let's stop using the social security number. Let's just do step one, okay? Let's stop accepting benefits and privileges. Okay, well, now step two. Well, how I operate without that, Yusuf? Okay, well, you know, there are other entities you can use. Okay, we got to learn how to use a corp, an estate, a trust, get your 98 number, get your 245 numbers, understand business credit, understand personal credit. Okay, my first job is to get you out the system, to get your status in a certain way, where you can start operating in a certain way. And then get your mindset the correct way. Get your definition of words. Get you where you're conversant with the material, where you can conversate intelligently with it. I'm sitting here having to look at all of these videos on YouTube. It's a million of them. The attorneys having a field day. There's attorneys making money, monetizing their channel off sovereign citizen review videos. These niggas getting 200, 300,000 views, making money off of this shit. Making money, making people look stupid. Nigga don't even have to go and practice no more. He get 20. He don't have to practice no more. He just making money as an attorney doing sovereign citizen fail reviews in court. Why you don't look at that? Why? You know what? One of the things in law, if you go into a law library, this is what you're going to know is when you open up the law books, you're going to see that 95% of the cases, everybody lose. Because you learn more from, because the reason why is because the judge is going to tell you what you should have done. Now, here's the interesting thing. This is for all the attorneys. This is for the people. I know you watch. I got 600 people watching. You got motherfuckers out there. They say, show me something that something works. And I'll just be like, is this person stupid? You really think they're going to publish something works? You act like everything gets published. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Show me an example where this worked. Show me a video where somebody worked. When it worked, they settle out of court. When it worked, you think they let you go last in the courtroom so nobody see. When they see you know what you're doing, they ain't finna let nobody see that shit. You see what we have to deal with? You got to deal with these attorneys and people in the chat saying you don't know what you're talking about, saying that, oh, that doesn't, show me an example it works. Pull up some case law. Because they just think like a person that's trained from law school. They don't know nothing about private matters. Hell, a lot of them don't even read the Constitution. They don't even teach constitutional law in law school. They just learn procedure and statutory codes, and they think that that's all there is to it. They don't have no respect for private citizens whatsoever. You can see the disdain in their voice when they talk to us. That's what the Bible warned you about attorneys. Attorneys and bankers have a mentality that's like nobody else. Everybody I've dealt with, attorneys and bankers, they are a different breed. And I'm not saying that, it's something about when they take that bar, something changes in them. Something changes. And I'm not saying they're all evil or anything like that. I'm not saying all attorneys are evil or nothing like that. I'm just saying that if my mama became an attorney, I'm always going to be looking at her with a crooked eye. I'm not going to trust everything that comes out of her damn mouth. Appreciate it. I appreciate the 50 bones, 50-year journey. Yusuf, I appreciate you, my brother. I understand that this is not new, but I'm looking for freedom over finance. Well, if you're looking for it, then study. I'm giving you all the materials. Ain't nothing hidden. There is not, everything I'm talking about is you have access to. Operation Circular 1 information, Black Card information, QSIP information, DTC information. Ain't nothing being hidden. The problem that you're going to run into is that you're going to have to meet certain people that can facilitate where you're trying to go. Some people are going to achieve that, and a lot of people are not. It's the people that you're going to have to meet along the way that's going to have to facilitate where you're trying to go. You're going to attract them to you or something like that. But it's all these things that people are talking about. I'm like, nah, man, I've been doing this 20 years, man. I know what can be done. I know what has some basis, what doesn't. And the fundamental thing is that I see with everybody is the number one thing is the average person don't know nothing about trust. They got the Sesticate trust. Sesticate trust means beneficiary, dumb motherfucker. Did you look the word up? They don't even look the word up. How can I access my Sesticate trust account? A Sesticate trust is just a beneficiary. A beneficiary don't have no access to an account. That's like if I set up, let's say my daughter's name is Jane Doe, okay? This is my daughter. She's 15. I set up an account for her. I'm wealthy. I put $10 million in the account for my daughter. I give instructions to a trustee. Here are the instructions. My daughter cannot access any of these funds until she is graduated college, and I want her to have a degree in business administration. Once she has the degree in business administration, she has to marry a man who also has a college degree. He can't have this. He has to be of this stock from this kind of family, X, Y, and Z. Once she has fulfilled those two requirements and she has demonstrated to you evidence of that, then I want you to pay all of her bills and buy her a house. I want you to give her $1 million cash, okay? And then the next thing is I want you to start taking the proceeds from the trust and I want you to pay for her bills or whatever. Okay, she's the beneficiary. She's not getting into a motherfucking thing until me as the settler, the trustee is satisfied that she has satisfied all those requirements that I told the settler to do. It don't motherfucking mean shit that he got her name on it in all capital letters. She's not the fucking trustee. You can pick a trustee if you set up the trust. Of course you can pick a trustee. Did you set up the trust? Obviously you can't pick a trustee if you ain't the motherfucker that set up the trust. Let's try to use some common sense. You can go up to 55 Water Street and visit the DTC, the Tower of Power that it have out in the front. Yeah, you go up there. That's not saying anything if Jack then went up there and met with him. You know how many people I met with and talked to? That don't mean nothing. That doesn't impress me. That just shows me that you got effort and you're trying to find out some information. But you still gonna go through the process because them people ain't trying to, they looking like, look, this is how we clear securities, okay? They got requirements for you to fulfill, and that's just what you gotta do. Trust are agreements between a settlor and a trustee. Let's be specific. It is an agreement between a settlor, the creator of the trust. There are 4 words. Ain't no executor. All right, it's called a trustor, settlor, creator, grantor. An executor is for an estate. So I'm the executor of the trust. People say shit like that. I'm like, what? I mean, I guess if you have like a testamentary trust, something like that, a will that converts into a trust, maybe. I ain't explored that. But some of the things people say, I'm like, where the fuck did you get that? There's so much being thrown around that don't have no basis. I'm trying to clear up all of that right now because these people think that y'all stupid. They think you foolish. They think you crazy. Let's read something real quick. Let's read something. Let's read something real quick. Okay. This is the Treasury Direct website. All right. There's just a small example. All right. Birth certificate bonds, the story. Several internet blogs and videos make false claims that the United States birth certificate is a negotiable instrument, a document that promises payment that can be used to. Okay, I do not teach that the birth certificate is a negotiable instrument. I teach it has value, like a security, and the value because it evidences that you can do labor, that a person is alive, capable of performing labor. And that labor, the value of that labor can be put into a bond. Okay, don't tell me slave labor that y'all don't understand that, Treasury Direct, because y'all sold slaves. Go watch 12 Years a Slave. That's what y'all doing is selling slaves. Y'all sold slaves off what? Bonds. Indentured servitude. Make purchases. All right, here you go. Make purchases. They'll be charged to an exemption. You can't make no purchases. See how this verbiage that you use? Make purchases. Just using that word, you fucked up. Make purchases that will be charged to an exemption account, perhaps identified by the Social Security number or EIN, or requesting saving bonds held by the government in your name and owed to you. The truth is, birth certificates cannot be used for purchases, nor can they be used to request saving bonds reportedly held by the government. Also, the exemption account is a false term. These accounts are fictitious and do not exist in the Treasury system. Exemption account is like a street word. It is like a street. You're exempt from having to pay for anything. All right, that is a colloquial term that is used within the sovereign community. They're absolutely correct. But the rest of this shit, nobody's talking about buying anything with a birth certificate or with the bonds. You hear me every day say you can't buy shit with this. But see, when you talk like that, you're fitting into their description. All right. When you are out there on the internet teaching, you can purchase something or you can do X, Y, and Z, and you haven't done the due diligence to see what these people are saying on their websites or in court cases where people have got arrested. It goes on. The story is a variation of the older bogus site drafts, bills of exchange drawn on the Treasury scam. This right here has been around for like 20 something years. And I'll show you that. Matter of fact, the picture behind me right here. What is it? Move out the way. I'm trying to move out the way. I scoot over. Yeah, over this way. This right here. That right there down here. That's a picture of a site draft that has been on the internet for like 20 something years. It's a site draft. And it got routing numbers on it. And the Treasury Department had it on their website like for years. Somebody always coming around, is this what you're talking about? Is this what you're teaching people? I'm like, I said, and then I had to tell them, I said, do you really believe that you are on the internet reading stuff on the Treasury Department website, IRS website, or any website, and you don't think I've already read it? I mean, really? You really think that? You really believe that? I haven't seen that. I've read it, and I understand what they're saying. And I know how to read it. Because everything they're saying is not true. It's not what people are doing. But there are some people who don't understand it are doing it. And those are the people they're catching. They're catching the crazy motherfuckers. The motherfuckers who trying any fucking thing, who don't study nothing, who put routing numbers on the bottom of instruments and things like that, and go try to buy something. I believe that they put that out there intentionally. I really do. Let's go on. It says, the story is a variation of the older bogus site draft bills of exchange drawn on the Treasury scam. The commentary offered in this scam states, when the United States went off the gold standard in 1933, the federal government somehow went bankrupt. Now look at these motherfuckers. Somehow went bankrupt? Trazvan already said he's a senator. He said he's bankrupt. Hold on, Federal Reserve. Are you trying to fucking tell me that you not motherfucking bankrupt? Is that what the fuck is? You see what I'm saying? It's Treasury Department. I know y'all watching. Are you sitting here trying to make us believe that you ain't bankrupt, motherfucker? You $32 trillion in debt. If that is not bankruptcy, what is? You see how these people think you stupid? Let's go back and read some more of this. When the United States went off the gold standard, the federal government somehow went bankrupt. You don't know, motherfucker? You don't know you in bankruptcy. You don't know about House Joint Resolution 192 of June 5th, 1933, Public Law 73-10, codified at Title 31, 51118, that took you off the gold standard? You ain't using gold and silver no more, motherfucker. Gold and silver is the only thing that's money. Federal Reserve notes are not money. Federal Reserve notes are debt instruments, promises to pay. It goes on. With the help of the Federal Reserve Bank, they now notice this is what they say we saying. They do this on all their websites. They always give a narration from the perspective of the sovereign citizen to make them look crazy. You know, with the help of the Federal Reserve Bank, the government became a corporation, sometimes called a government franchise. I can read the damn the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers, and right in there they call you a corporation, bro. Also, in y'all statutory code, United States means a federal corporation. What are you talking about? They act like y'all don't know this stuff. Somebody wrote this. They got their clerk or somebody write this. All right. It says, it goes on, it says, with the help of the Federal Reserve Bank, the government became a corporation, sometimes called a government franchise. No, that's not a government franchise. The government franchise is the people of the franchises. And converted the bodies of its citizens into capital value, supposedly by trading the birth certificates of U.S. citizens on the open market and making each citizen a corporate asset, sometimes referred to as a straw man whose value is controlled by the government. Scams vary in methods for citizens to gain control of their alleged assets, such as filing a UCC-1 financing statement, activating a Treasury Direct TDA account, or creating bonds by using the saving bond calculator. These blogs and videos promise that your birth certificate bond will be able to wipe out all of your debt or help you collect money, securities. Some internet sites even offer to sell videos, webinars, and coaching on how to do this. No one has profited from the Treasury Department by using these tactics, but the scammers intend to profit from this story by selling their bogus wares. The reality: there is no monetary value to a birth certificate or a social security number, EIN, and Treasury Direct accounts must be funded by the owner through payroll deductions or from purchasing directly from the owner's personal bank account to have any value. Now, there's some truth to that. I have an account, and that's what that attorney was telling me, what he was saying, but they ain't giving the whole story. The savings bond calculator is merely a tool to calculate the value of a bond based on the issue date and denominated entered. I don't know what he mean by that. I ain't never used a savings bond calculator in nowhere in my 20 years. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This information could be the issue date and denomination from a real bond, or it could just be a random choice of a date and denomination. The calculator only checks that the issue date and the denomination entered are a valid combination. It will not verify whether a bond exists. The calculator will not verify the validity of a serial number or confirm bond ownership. Well, yeah, duh. A bond just means a promise, nigga. What are you talking about? It's just a promise. Anybody can put together a bond. Once again, they coming from a different area. This is private, what we're talking about. Please be advised that trying to defraud the government by claiming rights to bogus securities is a violation of federal law, and the Justice Department can and has prosecuted these crimes. Federal criminal convictions have occurred in several cases. The scam artists who post blogs and videos are trying to defraud you into buying their fake product do not fall victim to their schemes. All right. Now, you should go and read some other things on the Treasury Department website. Now, is some of the things true on their website, what they're saying? Absolutely. It's absolutely true. But these people, they will tell something in such a way where, okay, we're talking about public and private. This is why you have to learn why I talk about public and private. In the private, none of these people can tell you what to do. They talking about public. They talking about when you operate in the public, because that's the only thing they have authority over is in the public. They don't have any authority over the private. So we're dealing with private matters, okay, and private contracts. They can make no law that will infringe on the obligation of contracts. That's in the Constitution. All right. So that's why when you read something like this, you have to stop back and look and think, okay, I understand what they're saying. Okay, if you come into their domain trying any of this shit, you're probably going to get fucked up. You're going to get a public charge. All right. That's why the first thing I tell people is the first thing you have to learn is the difference between public and private. You're safe in the private. When you make a negotiable instrument and you put routing numbers on it, the first thing they do is they take it to an attorney general. He looks at it. When he looks at the instrument, what he's looking for is anything on there that is public. Anything over there that they have regulation on. Anything over there that puts you into their jurisdiction. And they're going to charge you with it. So when you draft a negotiable instrument, you got to know how to keep it private. You got to know how to make a bond private. You got to know how to correspond private. Everything is private. Because if you do anything public, the public is their domain. And they're going to fuck you up and make an example out of you. So wouldn't it be reasonable before teaching people all of this shit right here to say, look, let me give you some basic fundamental shit first so you don't get fucked up? Does that make sense? I don't know. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? It says on the IRS employee manual, they take, let me see if I can find this real quick. IRS, let me show y'all some about. Okay, let's see if I can find it real quick. Control F. If I can find it real quick. All right. So right here, this is the employee manual. All right. Now, how did I find this out? Years ago, okay, people were discharging their debts with money orders. All right. And it was working. It was working. It was working very well, as a matter of fact. But like anything, once it goes mainstream, it stops working. They're not going to let anything work that 1 million people know about. Get that out of your fucking mind. That's why when Heather Ann Tucci, when she started, as soon as she put that, somebody came to me and said, yeah, you know, people are discharging debt with the number on the back of their social security card. Don't tell nobody. Very next day I go on YouTube. It's 1 million people watching videos talking about it. I saw this not going to last very long. It's going to get shut down. because people don't know public and private. You're going to take private information and put it in the public and expect it to keep working? Are you that retarded? So it goes on. Here's what. So the lady, now it was a lady, it was a group of white women. They were very successful in discharging debt. So I went to her because I was kind of known, and she had a private meeting with me, and she wouldn't even tell me how to do it. She said, hell no, I'm not giving out this information so I can fuck it up. But she did give me a lead. She said, I will tell you this. Everything you need to know is in the IRS employee manual. As a matter of fact, there's an urban legend that says that there was a guy who got tired of all of this, and he studied all of Title 26 and found the answers, and the IRS opened their arms and welcomed him in and said, brother, welcome home. You found the answer. Because the answer is in Title 26. Because all this shit is what? A tax. All of it is a tax. We're dealing with taxes. Federal Reserve notes, all this shit that we're talking about with the Treasury Department. It's in Title 26. So here is unacceptable payments. All right. Let's see what they say. Unacceptable payments of taxes are items that the depository bank will not accept as payment. Any of the following items found in the payment perfection unit must be returned to the taxpayer using letter 4480C. If these items are not returned immediately, they must be stored in a locked safe. Okay, so this is what they want. You can't pay your taxes with. You can't use gold, silver, jewelry, stamps, saving bonds, treasury notes, treasury bills, stocks, treasury certificates of deposit, promissory notes, gold coins other than U.S. currency, deposit slips, withdrawal slips, credit cards, debit cards, gift cards, tickets to events, lottery tickets, obviously fake money such as monopoly money, oversized billion-dollar bills, currency copied with animals or other unusual items printed on them. This is what people send these motherfuckers. That's why they think everybody's stupid and crazy. Motherfuckers just do stupid shit. Expired, stale, dated checks. That's when people was using Fred and Nina. They was using closed account. They had the misinterpretation of closed account, and people was paying off their bills with your checks from your closed bank accounts. I got the video on SPC University. Everything on there SP University is a depository of all the information I've ever found, whether it's good or bad. Everything on SPC University is not good. I keep everything on there. It goes on. Unexpired passports. I don't even know what that is. Now look at this note right here. They said, if a promissory note is returned to the taxpayer and the taxpayer sends the note in again citing public policy ACR 192 for the note to the CID, field office, attention special agent in charge of the state the taxpayer resides. Now, is this a bad thing? This is for all you out there that's discharging debt. This is not necessarily a bad thing because as Byron Beers was stated, that the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS is where they discharge debt at. That's what Douglas Riddle was talking about too. I put the audio on here for you to listen to. But it goes on, what do they take? What? If a bill of exchange or registered bill of exchange is received from a taxpayer authorizing the campus to settle the account through FedWire, send everything received to the following address. Ain't that where we send our bond to right there? This is just the instructions for the employees. The employees don't know. They just told what to do. This is just a small example. I'm using all this shit as an example of how you substantiate what you're doing. Okay, when you do research, it don't say send nothing to Puerto Rico. I ain't seen shit. Let me show you where they got the Puerto Rico information from. Y'all want to see that? Where the Puerto Rico information? I got a piece of white paper on my beard. Where they get that information? That's my brush at. Brush my beard. All right, let's see where they got that. Somebody said somebody was reversed. Yeah, reversed, right? They reversed it. I understand. All right, so let's look at where did Puerto Rico come from? All right, let's look at this real quick. Okay, so you can see right here, IRS exposed. This is what? Private Side Solutions. Who is Private Side Solutions? Use of Ale. That was the name of my old company. Private Side Solutions. All right. IRS identified as principal of interest. All of this right here. This is not, let me download this. I ain't seen this paper in a long time. But this is my old website. Somebody must have put it up. But the dude's name is Dan Meter. Here go the individual Puerto Rican trust and the individual master file. This right here, Dan Meter. He talks about Dan Meter and William Cooper are the ones that did all the research. But I'm going to see if I can find. Where is that at? Who owns the IRS? Is this it? Yeah, this is it right here. This is it right here. This BATF IRS criminal fraud. So right here, this is the page you want to read and study about the Puerto Rican trust, Philippine trust, Federal Alcohol Act, where the IRS came from. This is giving you the history of the IRS and these trust accounts. And two of them were in, one was in Puerto Rico. See right here, BAF, Puerto Rico. We have already demonstrated that both these organizations are in reality the same organization. He's showing you all of this stuff. This is where that information came from. So the reason I'm showing you all of this is before you do anything, okay, I'm showing you what kind of person I was. I heard all that shit too. Send stuff to Puerto Rico. Activate, there's a document on my website activating your TDA account. I got all kind of documents talking about activating the TDA account. All of this stuff. But have you substantiated it? Have you substantiate what somebody's telling you? There is credence to some other things. I'm not denying that. But most of these people are just regurgitating what somebody told them. They have not done it. You know why I know they haven't done it? Because if they hadn't done it, they would not be on YouTube. They'd be gone. Because they're not going to let them do it and put it on YouTube. They tell them specifically, when you do this, take your ass off of social media. One thing Tony King did that I appreciate, he said that in one of his things, he said, stay off of social media. But I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not doing any of these things. But he said, stay off of it. And I think he was right. He's partially right about that. The reason I'm here is because I'm pissed off with the criminal justice the criminal justice system and what they are doing to people. This TDA stuff and all this stuff get tied into all because it all is tied in. Let me show you something else. Research. It's all research material. All right. Is it SEC? Okay. This right here is secinfo.com. Okay, so this is Correction Corporations of America. All right. They took this dude's, you see how it's a prison realty trust? They changed it from a trust, but this is a real estate investment trust, was the Correction Corporations of America. Y'all didn't even know that the prison system. This right here, if you want to know about the prison system, everybody says, well, how I found the B424 424 prospectus. These are them right here. 424 prospectus is really like a trust indenture agreement. And when you read this, which I have copies of all of this stuff, you will find out how the prison system works. You know, first page filings, available information, prospectus summary, you know, correction corporations, realty trust, a Maryland real estate investment trust. The company has been formed to capitalize on the opportunities created by the growing trend toward privatization in the corrections industry. All right, so I'm not going to read this entire thing, but this is where I did my research on the prison system. All right, I'm like, because, you know, Gene Keating showed me where to look, and I started looking, and that's how I found out they get a per diem for every bed that they have occupied in the prison system, as well as the fact is they have a contract with the federal government to keep the prisons 100% occupied. So just because you don't pay your taxes, just because you out there doing some sort of criminal type of activity and you ain't got arrested yet, or you ain't got audited by the IRS and you think that what you're doing is okay because ain't nobody ever said nothing to you in 10 years or something like that, that don't mean shit, okay? They ain't got enough agents. Like a marshal told me, he said, we got 20,000 people on the run and we got 100,000 indictments we ain't even served yet. They got a backlog, nigga. That's why it take 2 years to come and pick you up. That's why when y'all do that stuff up in Chicago, when y'all got all that money, and then 3 years later they came up there and arrested y'all ass and came and knocked on your door. That's why. They ain't forgot about you. They ain't just gotten to you yet. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. My approach, okay, so I'm going to tell you why I do what I do. The reason I don't advertise discharging debt a lot and a lot of other things that I know about is because I see all the confusion that's going on. All these sovereign citizen fail. When they started, they've been doing that shit for some years. That's why I started my university, because they started doing them damn reviews, sovereign citizen fail, showing people getting pulled over on the street, motherfuckers getting shot, motherfuckers going in courtrooms saying all type of crazy shit, motherfucker, you know, all this kind of shit. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, man, this shit is spreading so fast. And then people are getting, I remember I gave some trust information to a person. He didn't even read the document. He went out the next day and started selling it, because he needed some money. He didn't even read it. It took about 8 months to learn trust. He got the manual that I learned from, and instead of reading it and studying it, he went out the next day and started selling it. Started selling courses. Somebody got mad at me because there's a video right now on YouTube that's talking about how you get rid of the Social Security number, rescinding the Social Security number. They said, well, why did you make another video on rescinding the Social Security number? Because the dude who did it stole the information from somebody else. And he conducted a webinar under my name. And I'm sitting there looking at it and like, damn, nigga, you got this from X, Y, and Z. So I showed everybody where it came from. Because that's what I do. I show you where the information came from. That's why they should be doing. They don't do that. They don't say, well, where did you get this shit from? Where'd you get it from? You just gonna believe what a motherfucker tell you. You're a damn fool. You deserve whatever happens to you. If you don't understand the word due diligence, you deserve whatever happened to you. And don't get mad if something don't work for you and you didn't do due diligence. If you just did what somebody else told you to do and you didn't go and investigate it for yourself, that's on you. That's not that person's fault. Another reason I did it, I had people coming to me. They didn't went to other people. They didn't did a secure party process, paid $1,500, $2,000. When I came in, they were charging people $10,000. People mad at me because I charged $59.99 and $119 and shit like that. They like, oh, you subcharging for information. Ain't nobody said shit when these motherfuckers was charging $10,000, $3,500, $5,500 and shit. Like, niggas still charging that shit for shit. I'm the product of all of that. I'm like, okay, let me try to put together a school and teach some people. After you leave my school, you go do whatever you want to do, because I'm going to give you the basic fundamental equipment that you need. Well, now when you go out there and you do your own research or you encounter other people, you know how to think properly. You know how to think correctly. That's the purpose of SBC University. And then, like somebody said, I want a remedy, I want relief. That's another word. Let me tell you that this word, remedy. Chevy Bronco, what is a remedy? What is a remedy? What is a remedy? That's another big word they throw around. They throw around remedy. Because it sounds good. He don't know what the fuck a remedy is. He think he knows what the word means. He don't fucking know. He's using that word. He's using it. He ain't got no remedy. They'll say that, thought that he don't got the remedy. A remedy is a right. A commercial due process right. A remedy is a right, and rights are expressed in writing in a contract. Private individuals' rights are enforced through contracts. It's time and opportunity to produce an administrative process. And as in commerce, that's what a remedy is. Everything that we do is about contract, because contract is what? On the private side, private citizens, all interaction between private citizens is contractual in nature. That's why we put a clause in the Constitution to prevent people in the public from infringing on the obligation of contracts. We told them to stay out of the private, that's our private business. Stay the fuck out of it. And I got a lot of people pay $1,500 for a sovereign citizen filing. And then I asked them, did you read the security agreement? I read every word of the security agreement, looked up every word, my whole harmless agreement, my affidavits. There's not a single word in there I don't know the meaning of, I didn't look up. That's what's going to add to your knowledge and give you a deeper understanding of what you're doing when you read the documents. Why would you file a document and not know what every word in the document means? I don't, I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the donations. I would come on and teach. I got a private membership. I would come on and teach on YouTube privately, and I would do everything if people just donated for that, because that would be a lot simpler just to do on YouTube, just have a private and just do it on YouTube under the membership. That'd be simple. Just do webinars like that. I can do webinars all day long like that. I think I might do that too. I think I might do that. I like your info, but your Dell 6 is lacking. You make people feel they're stupid. I'm not trying to make you feel like you're stupid. I'm talking, okay, if you feel like you're stupid, it's because you realize you're not using common sense. Because the things that I'm saying is common sense. I'm just appealing to your common sense. Why would you file something paper and you don't know what the words mean in it? Why would you do that? Isn't that common sense? You should feel stupid. Yes, I'm going to make you feel stupid because you are stupid and you deserve everything that comes. That's what they say. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. They got all kind of shit they tell you. They tell you, if you don't know your rights, you have none. Those who hope to be both ignorant and free, open for something that never has been and never will be. That's Thomas Jefferson. There's a whole bunch of people tell you this shit, okay? They tell you that reading is fundamental, all right? You got all kind of shit. Okay, so yes, I should make you feel stupid. I should make you feel stupid. Yeah, I don't feel bad about that. Once again, when you go and listen to my, I've been doing this for 10 years now. Go listen to my old radio shows. Very patient with individuals. Let them talk for 30 minutes. Do all kind of things. I don't do that shit no more. I ain't got time. If you don't want to read and verify something for yourself and I make you feel stupid, you goddamn right. I'm going to make you feel fucking stupid. I'm going to clown every single person that doesn't do what they're supposed to do because you operating in a space where there has to be accountability for your own actions. You're called a sovereign, and a sovereign is responsible for his actions. Nobody else is. You're responsible. And the stuff I teach is fundamentals. You don't, let me ask you a question. Are you going to go to the NBA and you don't know how to dribble? Okay, like these children, I admire today how sports has changed. You know, like with basketball and football. You know, they're getting these kids now from a very early age. I'm looking at Deion Sanders' son, Shador Sanders, and I'm just so impressed with that young. He admires his father so much. He even wants to adopt his father's swag. He wants his father's swag. He loves his father so much. That young man, and you know, and I just look at Deion Sanders, and to me, he is definitely someone who is highly favored and blessed. Without a doubt. It's just that's a special human being. He was blessed with 4.2 speed, and he was a person that talked trash and backed it up in an NFL, and nobody ever seen somebody get a defensive person that could change the outcome of a game. He's a corner, and you can't even throw it on that side of the field. Then the man come out and start. They don't want to let him coach in college, so he started on, in the high school level and little league level, and came all the way to the bottom up to the top. They're gonna get him in the NFL. And he's been winning every step of the way. And you can't tell me that man is not some type of spiritual blessing is not placed over him. He got his sons all together, even if they did by different women. I mean, but the thing, my point is, he started off teaching them the basics and the fundamentals, the practice. That's with anything that you do. So it's like you got to learn principles, all of these things before you start trying to do these other things that you're doing. I leave the other stuff to the other people. Somebody else want to teach about TDA accounts. I don't have no problem with that. But I'm showing you that when you put out information like that and these people have not been prepared for the information, the result is people get arrested. They making these sovereign citizen fail videos. The government is putting articles on their website. All of this stuff right here. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I've been seeing it the whole time. And I don't want to get labeled as somebody trying to scam. They love that word scam. You scamming people. They come on my channel all the time. You scamming people. Fuck what I'm showing you on the video. Fuck all this evidence and shit I'm reading and so showing you that you are a scam. That's what this is all about. Anyway, let's see if we get up to 700 people. Man, we almost had 700 people on here today. By TDA, go back and look at this. It's a lot of good information. If you're just joining us, there was a lot of good information on here. I didn't teach anybody how to do anything. What I did on this video is show you where to find information, where information comes from, what pitfalls that you have to look out for. That was the purpose of this. It's not to come on here and show you how to get a TDA account and discharge debt. I knew when I put the name out there, y'all gonna log in like a motherfucker. See how many people came in? I just named this TDA account, discharge debt, almost got 700 people on here. That's where everybody's mindset is, man. And everybody who is a guru in this space knows it. They know if they want to make money, that's what we teach. That's what you teach. You put that out there, you're going to make money. You're going to make crazy amount of money. Because people want that. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody wants. I've been knowing it for the last 10 years, 15 years, but I know the pitfalls in doing that. I know the pitfalls in teaching 1099 OID firsthand. And I've talked to people. I was in jail with the president of the Republic of Texas. They're a sovereign citizen group. That was a tax protester group. They send all those people towards you too. I didn't talk to undercovers, all kind of stuff, man. I done been through all of this, man. You sitting here, I don't understand. I don't think y'all really realize what you're getting involved in. You think this shit is just some easy shit? This is not nothing easy you getting involved in. This is going to be some of the most complicated, difficult, and serious type of information you probably will ever engage in the rest of your life. It's either going to free you or lock your ass up. That's what's going to happen. And if you ain't prepared to go to jail, you shouldn't be doing this at all. If you can't sit in jail 10 days, you don't deserve to be doing, you shouldn't do this. Just FYI, if you can't sit in jail 10 days, if you kind of motherfucker that crack or something like that, because you're in jail, this ain't for you. Or at least you should move very cautiously and very slowly and make sure you got a thorough understanding of what you're doing. I don't know, no, Anelia. Well, I don't need to interview nobody. Listen, I don't need to interview nobody. I don't need to interview somebody for what? What's she going? Anelia Sutton. What? Interview her for what? For what? For what? I done interviewed hundreds of people over the years and listened to hundreds of gurus. Interview for what? You think somebody got some new information or something? Is that what you think? Interview for what? Karen Hughes. I interview all kind of people. People that work for the Treasury Department, government, all kind of people. Talk to people. Interview for what? That's why you don't see me on nobody's channel doing it no more. For what? You think that. For what? He says, as an Eagle fan, you're on a Cowboy fan. First of all, I am not a Cowboy fan. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Okay? When you were born and raised in Dallas, Texas, and you watched the Roger Staubachs win those Super Bowls, you watched Dwight Clark make the catch in the end zone, you watch all those losses to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you come up through all of that, you are no longer a fan. You are an investor. It is part of your family. Okay, I take offense when somebody calls me a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. We're not fans of the Dallas Cowboys. We're not fans, man. That's our family. Everybody in Dallas feel that way. People just try to sue Jerry Jones for holding the Cowboys hostage. That's how people in Dallas are. Like, get rid of this nigga. Try to sue him. Say, hey, man, he holding the Dallas Cowboys hostage, man. This nigga. Yeah, it was a good game yesterday. Dallas, I still ain't impressed with none of these wins yet. The Giants and the Jets, I ain't impressed yet. I ain't impressed. The offense ain't impressing me. The defense looked good. But I'm just not impressed right now. You know, I ain't getting my hopes up. You know, like even with Deion Sanders right now, his real big that last game for Colorado and Colorado State University, that was a good motherfucking game. That'll probably be the game of the year. But it was Colorado State University. They got to go against Oregon next. And Oregon ranked number what? What is Oregon ranked? This is going to be a real test. And then after that, he got USC. This is when that was some good warm-up games that Prime had. But I can't get impressed with that. Because I got like, okay, I don't think they got to be a big enough offensive line. Because, you know, some of these other teams, they got grown-ass men on them lines and everything. I don't think their line is beefy enough. He know he ain't got enough. Like he said, we got about eight more dogs to get. He know what he got to get. He ain't got enough. But he didn't exceeded all expectations so far. But I don't think he got enough right now. He need one more year. This next recruiting season, we might see Deion Sanders in the damn finals next year. Next year, I think, because them boys is coming. He gonna have an off the chain recruiting season. They coming. All right. Anyway, I'll see. That was a good game. It was a good game. Anyway, hopefully y'all can get something out. I wasn't trying to offend anyone. I think a lot of other gurus think I'm trying to offend them. You know, it's like, look, man, I don't try to offend no other guru. I know I don't know everything. I know you don't know everything either. All right, none of us know everything as it relates to this. All right, this is a lot of information, but I'm dedicated to it. I read and study every day. I got some information now I just came across. Oh my God. It's on the Law Merchant and Remedies on the Law Merchant. It's a real good document. But it takes a lot of research, continuous research on this. Generations have been studying this information. And people want a remedy, or they want a remedy as a right. When somebody say I need a remedy, they're just telling me you don't know what your rights are. They say I need a remedy. Nah, nigga, you need to know what your rights are, because a remedy is a right. You knew what your rights are, you would know what your remedy is. You know? But TDA, that's why I know all people saw was TDA. They want to chime in. I just put up TDA account. Here they come en masse, you know. But the TDA and all of that, there is credence to all of that. But what you have to understand is this information you giving these people to, they not finna do no study. Do you know only 10% of people use information or go and do something when you do a seminar? Okay, 9 out of 10 people ain't gonna do nothing. They just gonna take the information and let it sit. And then another percentage of people, they not gonna do their due diligence. Why you think that all this real estate investment information has been out for so long, but it's so few people that's coming rich in real estate? The information is there. Ain't nobody hiding nothing. It ain't no different with this. So as a guru, you need to be responsible with the information that you're putting out and the kind of people that you're giving it to. Because these people right here, they ain't trying to read nothing. You know they not trying to read nothing. If you out there have been doing this for some years, because some of y'all are, I know who you are. I'm not going to name your names, y'all. You done dealt with these people. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You had consultations with these people. They desperate. And you don't want to take advantage of anyone's desperation. And you don't want to sell anybody no false dreams. We done had enough of that. Anyway, peace to the gods. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. Can I get some more donations real quick? That'd be real nice. I got some more, but you don't have to give me no more. It's cool. Man, donations I got. You know, I'll be getting excited. If I get, and people was like last time, they was like, they was talking, you know, I got $300 in donations. Do you see how excited I got when I got $300? I'm like, wow, I got $300 in donations. That really, it'd be people on other channels. I know they're getting $1,500, $1,000, $2,000 in donations on their live streams and shit like that. I'm just happy with, you know, I get $100, $200. I'll be, oh man, I got $200. I got $200 in donation. I'm happy and thankful for whatever I get. I ain't tripping on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, and people getting, you got $200 on there? I'm like, dude, it's just $200. It's just $200. Just $200. But I am thankful and I'm grateful for it. Anything that I get, any type of donation or anything I get, thank you so much. If I didn't call your name, I'm sorry I wasn't looking, but I appreciate the donations. I appreciate the support. I appreciate my members. I will be doing I will 100% be doing live webinar tonight on SPC University. I didn't do it last week because I was doing the reviews on the internet, but I'm going right back to teaching on SPC University every night. It's going to be every night this week. I'll be teaching every night this week. So if you're a member of SPC, I got the courses up now too. If you go to courses, you're going to see the courses are up. If you start, you can see right here the courses. It'll be new courses added every week. You see that coming in: credit mastery, business trust manual, creditors in their bonds, presentments, exemption. We haven't finished creditors in their bonds. I need to take that down. We're working on that. But all these right here, these are putting these information in courses for you. It's going to be a course added every week. All right. So it's self-paced course. You can go through it and see right here. It keeps track of how far you progress. There are questions at the end of every, I think she's still working on this one. Let me see, step by step to setting up your pre-equity trust. Oh yeah, that's the quiz right there. So yeah, it's quizzes. It's quizzes on it and everything. I got a group of people, they working on it for me. But there are courses on there for you. It's going to get real interesting. The website is going to get real interesting. It's a university. It's a learning institution. It's not nowhere you're going to come to get all of this. I'm trying to teach you, give you a firm foundation so you can understand what is going on. And it's going to help you in business. It's helped me tremendously in business. Help me understand taxes, all kind of things. It helped me understand the Constitution. Help me understand, a lot of y'all under some, misconception that you can do anything you want. They write about that. You can't do anything you want. We have a Constitution. These people have delegated powers. They have authority within a certain jurisdiction. You got to know what that authority is. We got to change this narrative. We got to get rid of this term sovereign citizen and get back to the point where your public servants are serving you and not the other way around, where they've usurped your authority and now they got you in some sort of subservient position to them because you're ignorant. I love and appreciate you too, Donald Walker. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank everybody for the donations. I appreciate it. I will be back on another live at some time. I don't know when, but I will be. And y'all review this. Peace to the gods. I'll read, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll look at the comments. And if I see some comments, some good questions in the comment section, I will do another live and I'll address it. All right. If I didn't cover something, I don't think I try to get everything I could think of, but there's a lot more than this, a whole lot more. Don't think I covered everything. It's a lot more, but I wanted to hit on some basic points today and just give you something to think about. Anyway, peace to the gods, and I will see y'all on my next live. Peace. I'm out.